I couldn't agree more with these tweets. In today's video, I'll show you how AquaVoice, my tool of choice that's transforming how I work. But first, let me explain why this matters. We're at a turning point in how we interact with our computers. Think about it. For decades, we've been limited by typing, a method that hasn't fundamentally changed. We've used the typewriters first and then moved on to keyboards, but it's still holding us back with how many words we can type per minute. AI dictation is changing that completely. Here's why it being AI native is different. It's not just converting your voice to text like traditional dictation tools. It's also understanding context, knowing when you want to start a new paragraph, add punctuation, or format your text. It's adapting to your speaking style and industry terminology. Most importantly, it's closing that massive gap between how we think and how fast we can capture those thoughts. So let's jump in and let me show you how I go about using it. An outline for my video: open by acknowledging tweets, set video purpose, educational bridge to explaining the why, build anticipation for the demo, maintain energy while adding context. Make that whole thing like outline. So right there, we just saw me end up stating to have an outline, and it just went into a bullet point mode. So this is great context for me to be in my workflow within Notion, where I end up working on my content pretty often, and it allows me to go at a much more rapid rate when I can plan out a video like this and build on top of that. So this is the most fundamental use of it, and I think getting further into the application, we're going to have a couple more uses that I really enjoy. Basic settings, going through microphone input and choose where you speak from. I obviously have got my mic, the Rodecaster, which I'm speaking into. The hotkey, which is cool because they allow you to choose whichever one to activate it based off of. Originally, you can just hold down the key and speak, and that is going to allow us to dictate. Or I prefer turning this on, space, to switch to hands-free. With this turned on, I can just go into hands-free mode, which I much prefer than consistently holding down a key. This is a cool feature that they just released. Deep context. It uses context from the screen to boost transcription accuracy. We're in the era of vibe coding. So going back to my code and make better aspects of context. So explain to me when the function clear search cache is being used. I want to make sure I understand that the cache is being saved until a proper time. So you could see that it took the syntax of what I'm trying to do within the vibe code and added that in. So this is great because I'm able to pass in the specific deep context with the variables. It's actually not being called at any critical moments, should be called in several situations. We've already got it properly recognizing what we're trying to do in there. On March 16th, I will be running my first solo high rocks. I'm excited for how the training is looking ahead. It seems like I might have in the past used it, so it picked up something slightly out of context, so doesn't really have it misspelled, etc. High rocks up here, and we can look at the screen for the deep context, because when I bring this voice up, you can see it has arc on here, and it's recognizing that I've got all of this in place. So it lists out based off of what context I'm in, which in this case is the browser. Actually, let's start all over again from the top. I'm going to be doing high rocks on March 16th, and I'm excited for how my training is going. Boom. I copied that, pasted it. Look at that. So two things that we just saw in there. it was cool because from a deep context standpoint, it was able to recognize what was on the screen to be able to spell it properly. And not only do that, I was able to give it the set of instructions real time to go, you know what, forget what I just said. Let's start from the top. And instead of just making that part of my dictation, we started a new set, which was great. And I think that's something that I really enjoy about it, because sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, that was not what I meant to say. Let me go back. So pretty cool functionality with being able to do that. Where I do think it's going to be even better is that on AquaVoice, I'm going to the dictionary. They've got a dictionary. So I'm going to go ahead and add the word hyrox. And then this will be my first solo hyrox. I've done 4 doubles up until now, and I am really looking forward to matching a time that equals at least one of them. So you can see I added this word in this dictionary, and since I did do that, it spelled it correctly, and it's removed the context of having it be all caps, which is it identifies itself. But if you've got words that are just consistently used that are not part of the dictionary, this takes care of it, and I'm pretty pumped about that. Instructions. I could use instructions in here to end up changing things in various places. You could see provide style references or instructions. For example, use all lowercase in Slack, or please break text into paragraphs. For the next one, predominantly I use it for being able to write emails. So I'm going to give it an instruction. When in Canary Mail, end all of my notes with my signature, quote, create serendipity, comma, yush, end quote. You could see I have my name in the dictionary, and then I also have this now set up. Hey, I just ended up making a video about AquaVoice, and I am excited to get some feedback from you for if you learned anything from it, and if there's questions that you feel that you might have that I might have missed out on. So went ahead, wrote the whole email, put my name and the signature. So that's pretty exciting. Say things like, also format my greeting to be in its own line, and then the rest of the paragraph and body to be broken accordingly. So I gave that set. We're going to save this again, and let's create. Hey, Pablo, I just ended up finishing my video. I'd love your feedback to see if you learned anything from it. And if you still have any questions, please let me know, because I'd love to add that into this video. Looks like it worked. Yeah. I love the fact that we're going in a direction where voice can speed up our process, and I implore you guys to check out how Dictation is helping improve your content flow or any other things, and please let me know in the comments what other ideas have shown up for yourself. Thanks for checking out this video.